Welcome to the OpenHearted Podcast. Hello and welcome to another episode of the OpenHearted Podcast. I'm your host, Will Wheeler, joined with my main man, Photon John. Kev, what's going on, brother?
Oh, just house sitting for friends, so getting used to the environment.
House sitting. Did I say here that you have to look after a cat?
I do, yeah.
Nice. How's
She's
it going?
She's not a fan of me yet.
Not a fan. What are you doing to her, mate?
She's just wondering where mum and dad is.
Yeah, fair enough.
And who this strange person is sleeping in their bed.
Yes, true. Having a cat myself, I know exactly what that's like. There's times where we've had to go away for a day and she comes back and she is just not happy with us. But maybe that's a whole nother podcast I should be looking at. But really, we should get stuck into this. So, actually, by the way, how has your week been? Or have you been since I last spoke?
Yeah, good. I find change a little difficult, and I've sort of just got. I moved from where I am right now in New Farm to Redcliffe, and had just gotten settled in there. So it's a little interesting, but it'll be fine. It's a nice big house.
Nice.
Yourself. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, not too bad, man. I have had a little bit of problems with my depression for about a week now, so. Just been, trying to handle that. But, it's just one of those things where you can only take it a day at a time type of thing. So fun times there. Man, you know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to get up the name of the podcast and everything, and it's not even coming up. Everything's just going to crap to me, but all good. I've got it running now. But anyway, we should get stuck into this. Let's call up to the stage. Really good friend of mine all the way from Brisbane. I'd like to introduce Alexander Devenport. How are you, my main man?
I will. How you doing, man?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. It's good to touch base. Sorry, I'm just going to get the screen all sorted. So just a little bit of an insight. Alexander and myself, we actually used to go to school together, going back like 20-something years now.
Back in the day. Oh God! Don't say that. We're very, very old now.
I know, man. I know. You know how they say like time flies when you're having fun? We must be having way too much fun, mate.
I guess so. I guess we're just amazing. I guess just hang out. We didn't hang out that much, but I know we just really respected each other, and we looked at each other like, hey.
Yeah. But I often think about it because I think we've sort of connected more since I suppose since we had the podcast and we're talking a lot about neurodiversity and all that type of stuff. But I think especially at school, I remember times where I think even after we finished school, I would sometimes, because you lived in Manly, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And I think I had a lot of friends who lived in Manly, and I used to be driving around the streets there, and I'd sometimes see you wearing like, I think a black trench coat or something in the middle of summer.
Back in the days when I was young and edgy.
Yeah. And I remember seeing you, and I'd be
trying to be a goth in the middle of Brisbane.
Maybe.
I feel that pain. I was there too in the 90s. 90s goth was something else.
No, well, this was early 2000s.
90s goth.
Yeah. But I remember it'd be as hot as, right? I'd be like, man, and everyone would be in the car and they'd see like you with like this goth stuff, and I'd just pull over. Yeah, and I'd be like, oh, jump in, man. I'm pretty sure there was times I'd give you a lift and drop you off at your house on the corner. It was like a 3-story house on the corner or something, correct?
Oh, yeah, something like Yeah.
So I remember it well. But yeah, like I think that was the thing. Like we used to chat a little bit at school, but we weren't like best of mates or anything like
No,
that.
but I will definitely say I had great respect, because we had if there was one thing to describe both of us, Will, that was we were the weird guys.
Yeah, you can probably put it a lot like that, and I'm cool with that.
We were both in drama class, and Will would always do something completely out of the ordinary, and we would all find that just hilarious. And
Right.
he always do something so good. I always thought that was awesome. Meanwhile, I did my own little thing. I would just wait for talent contests, and I would do my ventriloquist act with it.
Yeah, man. I was only thinking about that the other day. But what we'll do, we'll touch base about that in a sec. But to just let all the listeners know what we've actually got happening today. And I just had it up on my screen there. But today what we're going to be covering is neurodivergent creativity around art. Because if you have a look, so for all of our people who are watching us right now, if you have a look at the back of Alex there, you'll probably see a lot of art. That's all his own art there, I'm pretty sure. And, you know, we've sort of got, actually, that's another thing. We sort of got talking about art and your art and all that type of stuff. We're like, man, bring that up onto the podcast. Do you know what I mean? So we will definitely be talking a lot about that there. But before we get started, what we might do, just a shout out to all of our listeners, please subscribe, like, and follow to all of our social media platforms. You can check us out on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, which is now X. I really got to update that. Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, and please subscribe to our newsletter at OpenHeartedSociety.com. And I don't even think we've had a newsletter yet, but please subscribe, because we will have a newsletter eventually. But let's get stuck into this. Kev, did you have anything you wanted to share before we got stuck into this, brother?
No, I would encourage anyone though to jump online and check out the video of this podcast, because I'm looking at that out and it's really cool.
Yeah, totally.
I can send some links if you would prefer.
Can you send some links to me now, if that's cool? Because what I might try and do is get it up on the actual screen while we're talking.
That would be easier. I'll just I'll go onto my Instagram now, and
then you can send that through on our private chat, and then I can put that up.
Yeah.
We should have probably got this organized beforehand, because I was thinking about I'm like, man, how are we going to we're going to have to describe some of the art and all that. And it's funny that we're talking about you looking after cats, Kev, because a lot of your work behind you is based on cats.
I do love my hairless cat pictures. I just sent you a link.
Nice, man.
Yeah, a lot of my work these days. I guess you could describe as just creating stuff that is Baroque / Renaissance artwork, but with animal heads, and that's not an unusual. It's an unusual thing, but it's not an original thing. A lot of people have done that throughout the years. I think you can go into an English pub and see something weird like that, and that's just a bit of fun. But the reason I did that is because I just wanted something on my wall that looked awesome. Because I spent after high school. I'm guessing you can. I'm sure you can guess. I went straight to art school, and I went through that. And throughout those years, I was trying desperately to create something that people would like. That's something that galleries would put on their wall and can show off and do the rounds, and obviously do a lot of stuff that's edgy. But I'd never created anything that I genuinely would want to put on my walls until the past 5 years. So I'm very happy about where I am now with.
Would you say that the reason why you have only maybe just started putting stuff on your walls is because you've gotten to that point where you're like, you know what, man, I think I've found myself, or I've found what it is I've been looking for. Maybe you didn't have that before. Maybe you're trying to be something that you weren't. I don't know.
I feel like that. I mean, I don't think I was ever trying to be something that I wasn't, but I just didn't want to. I just didn't want to feel like I can decorate. As soon as I started genuinely decorating my house, I thought, my God, I'm actually comfortable now. This is nice. Beforehand, I wasn't ashamed of my work. I was definitely I liked what I did. I just thought, well, that doesn't really go with what I like. I'll just put that aside.
Nice. What we might do, we might actually come back to that, because we've sort of got one of the questions. We're sort of going a bit backwards here, but that's all good. We're neurodivergent. We do everything differently, so that's all good. But I tell you what, how about you share a little bit about yourself, your diagnosis? You said you don't actually have a diagnosis, but, you know, just share us a little bit about how you sort of fit into this picture, you know?
The reason why I sent a message to you is just because I thought I'm quite sure I've got ADD, maybe not ADHD, but maybe I'm not sure. But I definitely have the characteristics. Like, I find time hard. I say I can manage time very well. I cannot.
Sorry, for everyone listening, Alexander just made the podcast and he looked like he was half asleep. I'm like, did you sort of almost forget? He's like, no, I did not sort of almost forget. Or however you put it.
Yeah. Planning has never been my thing. And I getting distracted, that's a big thing, you know.
Yeah.
That's I've always wanted to the main thing I've always wanted to be is either write a book or illustrate a book or something like that. I've always wanted to be something like that. Ever since I was 13, when I picked up a version of Alice in Wonderland, but everything was illustrated by Ralph Steadman, who is one of the best illustrators ever. He's also insane. And I absolutely adore all of his work. And I thought, I want to do this. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. This is amazing. But all of the work that I started when I was in my early 20s, late teens, stuff like that, was something like 5 pages, something like that. So, and just couldn't get anywhere. Doing any form of long-term constructive work, I found just almost impossible, and it was so annoying. It truly was. So, yeah, there's the two main things that I find difficult. You know, planning stuff and holding on to focusing on long-term things. I try, of course. I try.
Yeah. You know what's great though is we're starting to live in a world now where we don't have to beat ourselves up about that so much anymore. You know, you manage it as best you can, but people are starting to understand that this is just the way some people are, unfortunately. You know.
Well, yeah. The thing is, I there's ways around it, as you say, and as such, I just there's some amazing ways to just get you to shut up and do the work. I really want to get a proper diagnosis, so I can get some Adderall or something, so I can just say no, let's just get stuff done. But in the past, I have managed to do. There's the first time which I did something large, and I made sure I stuck to it, and I found it so amazing. And I don't think I can do this, by the way. I don't think I can do this now because I'm close to 40. But it's doing a 24-hour comic book. Have you heard of these?
No.
Oh, this is amazing. If you find it difficult if you want to do a comic or some form of writing, even if you're not good at drawing or something like that, and you want to do some form of storytelling, but you find focus just terrible, do this. Get someone who is equally insane.
Is that easy to find?
Sometimes it is. Someone who's easily insane. This is all the young people, by the way. People maybe can't do this, but get them to just sit in the same room with you and do a 24-hour comic. The rules are with a 24-hour comic book is you do 24 pages in 24 hours. Okay? Now, you can eat, you can sleep, you can take breaks, whatever, but the clock keeps ticking, you see. So you start, it's up, what hours? Completely up to you. I would suggest just start very early. Make sure that you've had sleep, and you start not that far from when you woke up. And so you start at 10 a.m. and finish 10 a.m. the next day.
So I wouldn't suggest going into it after a big bender or anything.
No. You might be thoroughly inspired at that point. Don't do that. No, I've done a couple of these.
Yeah,
I did a similar thing once with some musician friends in Brisbane, and we all just got together, and we had 4 hours and a carton of beer to write and record an EP. And it was magic. It was amazing what comes out, in a situation like that. Yeah, I find sometimes pressure and limitations can actually help art.
You are so right.
Think differently.
You are so right with that. There's a couple of ways to being creative is so easy a lot of the time, but being constructive, that's sometimes very difficult. Like keeping things focused. That's so one way to do it is to just buckle down, strap you in, and go, no, you're doing this. The other way to do it is the second way I figured out how to do it. I was bored one time and decided to start streaming, not unlike this delightful podcast. And I started streaming on Twitch, not gaming, but I did art, and I did it. Let me just pull up what I did over here. So I got together and I started not every single night, but I would finish work, come home, and I would just open a bottle of wine, and I would talk to people online and say, hey, how you doing? And throughout the night, I got more and more drunk. And meanwhile, I would construct stuff like this. And that was my new thing, just going around and making, I call it unscientific illustrations.
Yeah, true. And what was that for, Bart?
Absolutely nothing. It was for nothing. I just said, screw it. I want to do something fun. I thought this is a cool design. Let's just go for it. And I did the same kind of design, a different illustration, but the same sort of thing. And each of the so I would go online and find whatever it is I was going to draw for that particular night, and say it's this insect, and the labels around it have got nothing to do with the drawing at all. Like this one just says responsibility, long dissonance, non-positive nature, boring stuff like that. And
but it looks like full professional what you would see in a museum.
Yeah, it's a scientific illustration, but what is all around it is just nonsense. Yeah. And because it became a habit, because I came home and just did this every single day, I very quickly acquired quite a lot, and I put it all together into a book, and that's on sale now.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
Sorry, just out of curiosity as well, did I see that you do like like illustrations for ads or something like that? Or did I see you did an ad, or you do? Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I don't do illustration. I would like that. That would be nice, but I don't think my work is really commercial friendly.
Okay, yeah.
That's because it's just kind of bizarre. I have done things in magazines and newspapers and stuff like that, but only because I knew the editor, and they liked me and said, "Oh, right, fine, you can put a cartoon in there or whatever. It's okay."
So the thing is, like, obviously we went to school, and for anyone listening, we went to school in Brisbane at a college called Cannon Hill Anglican College. Shout out to anyone who's watching or listening. But you're now living in the UK, yeah?
Yep, that's right.
Now, have you sort of found, especially with your art and all that, is there, say, like a scene, like you've connected with other people within this artistic scene, or how does it all sort of work?
That's the main thing that I haven't really done properly. I haven't what I did for a long time. Please excuse me. What I did for a long time, because my parents lived in France for quite a few years, is I used to just do exhibitions in France for quite a while. But I haven't done anything in London, and the reason is it's unbelievably expensive to do.
Serious?
Oh God! Look, an art exhibition in London, we're looking at like £1,000 to £2,000
compared to France.
Compared to France, where it was, I think it was a charity thing, so it was done for free, really. So I
would have thought it'd be the other way around, because I don't think of London for art. I think of France for art. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, it pretty much. But I mean, where I exhibited, it wasn't, say, Paris or anything. It was Calvisson, which is a very, very obscure. Well, not obscure to France, but it was to us. It's like quite obscure because it's south of France, country, beautiful place, absolutely gorgeous. And I would head over there to where my parents had retired, and I would exhibit there, and I sold a couple of works there. A lot of the weird works that I did in university, they're not with me anymore, thank God.
Did you make some money off them?
A little bit, yeah.
That's good. That's good. It's good to see artists getting paid for their work.
Oh, thank God for that. Yeah, sometimes it does need to happen. I mean, I've got a daytime job. That's where the main money comes in. I work as what is it? I'm a studio manager for a photography studio at the moment.
Oh, cool.
And I enjoy that because I look after all the clients that come in and have questions and stuff. So, I work with people, and that's good enough for me. But if I was to make money out of my artwork these days, I would put my hand up and say, "Okay, can I do a commission for anyone?" And it's usually children's book illustrations at the moment. Okay. Which, you know what, I'm good with that, because I remember I picked up the Alice in Wonderland and said, I want to do this for forever, and here I am doing that. And
is that a certain style, but like where people say, hey, look, I'm looking for an Alice in Wonderland sort of theme, can you do something similar to that? Or do they?
Yeah, a lot of people say I would like a children's book illustration, and I want it to be, all these calm colors and something good for, toddlers, and it seems to work out. And I say, yeah, I can do that. And they say, oh yeah, you can. It's good. And I continue from that, and it's great. I mean, at the moment I'm working on stuff for a woman called Sandra, and she's absolutely adorable, and I love her work, and she is producing some children's books called the Spotted Sheep, the Spotted and Speckled Sheep, and check them out if you want to, please.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but they're mostly what I'm working on. I mean, this is I'm not going to show you in detail, but I'm working on another commission here of
Yeah, cool.
two of my mates, and that is going to be more up the sort of area that I like to work in, which is constructing a Baroque painting in the style of a Baroque artwork that, you know, in many frills, many bits of drapery, looking ridiculously opaque, you know.
Nice. So yeah, no, that's awesome. And you know, like it's just amazing seeing, like, I suppose, someone be able to create something can bring a lot of themselves out in a lot of their creativity and stuff like that.
I tried to.
Yeah, totally. But you know what, like we said, you know, when we we're chatting about earlier, you know what, you know, and this is what we talk about a lot, what people's, I suppose, journey has been about to where they are now, type of thing. But what was it like for you at school? Like, you know, was school good for you, or what did you find? How did you find that?
I went to. Do you mean high school or?
Oh, look, just in general, mate. Like, you know, so for me, you know, school for me, I loved going to socialize. The teachers hated me. I didn't, you know what I mean? I didn't do well.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't pick that up. I didn't think that teachers didn't have a good time with you. I didn't realize that.
Probably because I was like always trying to be funny and stuff like that. But yeah, behind the scenes, definitely. But just, you know, and I think a big thing for a lot of neurodivergent people is school can be a bit of a hard thing for us. You know, what was that like for you?
Well, let me go through all the schools. Let's see. With normal grade school, normal elementary school, I didn't like the kids. I was bullied a lot. I was not happy. It wasn't so fun. I found it difficult to concentrate in school, in class. High school, I actually enjoyed. High school, for some reason, you know, I like the people that I can hang around with. There were a couple of, you know, cliques that I could get involved in. There were more subjects, so I can just go off and do my own.
Choose your own thing and that, yeah.
So I was a lot happier in high school. I wasn't good in class. I wasn't good with grades. In the end, I wasn't that good. And I feel I don't want to say that I'm embarrassed because it was so long ago and it doesn't really matter. But I was embarrassed about my grades. I really was. I always thought I was not smart, but not dumb. You know? But I didn't do very well there.
Can I just say on that, right? Like, I know the exact feeling because I got very low grades in the things that I didn't like. But you put, say, I was good at sport. I was good at some other things in regards to art and stuff like that. And I'd get like A's or B's or, do you know what I mean? So I was either one end of the spectrum getting E's and really bad things, or I was getting very high marks, if that makes sense. So it was sort of weird because I felt quite intelligent and I could do so many great things. But then you're on this sort of like, everyone's put on this pedestal, like you have to be achieving this, and everyone talks about grades, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Grades are I think you have to do things in a specific way to get marks. I think going back to just not being diagnosed, that's a big flag there that says I found it very hard to learn unless I really enjoyed it and I could concentrate on projects or whether this thing is very specifically interesting. It's one of those things that is, yep, that's definitely an ADD thing.
See, I didn't actually know I didn't know I was ADHD until like 2 years ago.
Sure.
So yeah, so now I look back at it and I'm like, oh, now I see why I was staring out the window, or why I was doing this. You were the same, weren't you, Kev?
Yeah, I knew I was autistic for years, but I had no idea about the ADHD side of things until I got diagnosed this year. So, but it was very much that thing. It was, I could fail music even though I'm a lifelong musician, just because the way I was being taught wasn't quite working for me, and then I could go and do something weird like legal studies and ace it. So it wasn't even about the subjects for me necessarily. Even if I was very interested in certain topics, I found that the system I was plugged into wasn't working for me.
Yeah, totally.
School, man, school.
I'm so, you know what, right? Like after leaving school, I was sort of like, for me, it was like I was able to find myself, it took me a while to find myself, but you're not restricted to a certain way you have to do things, and you're able to become this I found I just started to get a lot more confident. It took me a while because I had failed so hard, and I thought, oh gee, I'm never going to be able to achieve things in life because I failed school. But then once I did learn that, hang on, I am okay, I started to achieve some really great things then once I found who I was, if that makes sense.
I didn't go straight from high school to university because I didn't have the grades, but I went to TAFE, which is, I think it's just an Australian thing. But TAFE is, I absolutely adored it because I got to concentrate on the subjects that I actually enjoyed. I got to concentrate on that thoroughly. That is where I learned how to do proper oil painting rather than do that in school. And I thoroughly flourished there, and I got some really great friends out of that, and I was very happy. It made me feel a lot better, and
included.
It built my confidence up a lot more to attempt university, and I actually managed to get into that. Like I never expected to get into university because my grades were terrible.
But you know what? This is the thing, right? That annoys me is that we're told in school that if you don't get good grades, you're not going to be able to go to university. Why weren't they telling us stuff like, well, hang on, Alex, if you don't do well here, what you can do instead is maybe take this pathway to be able to do this. We weren't told these types of things. I wasn't
directly told that, but I'm not going to say I fought my way up. No, but I kind of did. I sort of went, I'm going to keep on going, and I climbed. I was very happy, and university was pretty cool. I was I got through. I didn't manage a master's class in the end. I attempted to, but didn't matter. But I did graduate, so I'm happy with that. And I'm happy that I managed to get there despite pitfalls along the way. Other things that I would attempt to learn differently, or other things that I would ask to learn about earlier on to help my career now. Yes, of course. There's a couple of skills that I would like to have right now. Mostly, graphics programs, stuff like that. I know quite a lot, but I still would like to learn more. And of course, there's nothing stopping me now. I can still learn, but oh boy, it's as the years go by, it gets harder to just concentrate. But It's okay. I look back on with fond memories, and I was very, very happy about that.
That's cool. That's cool. But you know what, right? I think what we should really, and the reason why we're here is, tell us a little bit about your art. Now, I want to just get this up on the screen.
You got my links.
Yeah, I do. I just haven't share screen. I'm just trying to get it up at the moment. Windows. Hang on. Here we go. Cool. So I have. Sorry, Kev and myself are out of it at the moment. What we might try and do, I might. Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, cool. I'm just trying to see if I might just put this full screen layout. There we go. So we can see that on the screen at the moment. Might be best can you explain? I might actually we'll get these ones here, or actually we'll talk about these ones here, yeah? Because I'm trying to get the other ones.
I was giggling. I was giggling because I just saw that topic on there.
Oh, no, it's all good. Oh, well, I've just liked it. I was trying to see if I could get it a bit bigger, but I can't. But explain a little bit about your art there. We can see that's pretty dark within itself, but it's pretty amazing type of stuff.
That sort of stuff I want to. I haven't done that sort. I haven't done the Baroque paintings for a while, but they're the ones that I want people to know that I can do that stuff. That's what I can sort out. The ones you've got there are the smaller ones, but yes, they're the ones that makes me go, yes, I'm proud to put those on my walls. I'm very happy about that. I just wanted something a little weird, and the idea of putting animal personalities.
Actually, just for our listeners who might be listening in on the podcast, can you explain?
We should describe it. Yeah.
Can you describe it? Because I think that might be a bit of a better way for.
That's right. I forget that. Yeah, the podcast implies that you just. So if you could imagine, dear listener, people in beautiful robes and dresses in a style of a Baroque or Renaissance painting, draped over a chair or an instrument, looking off into the distance, except, behold, their head is not a human head, but that of an animal like a hairless cat or a fox.
That's so excellent.
That's actually a really good description, man. You did that really well. You did that really well. I wasn't expecting that.
I tried. There was generally not all the time, but generally I try to get the women to be hairless cats and men to be foxes. Do I have a reason for that? No, of course not. I just thought that was cool. This, and of course, this is one of the more obscure ones. This is just a painting of a woman holding a chalice with a vampire cat face.
Yeah, I was gonna say that looks pretty brutal, that one. But out of curiosity, right? So, how would you say that your neurodivergence? And I know you're probably seeing that maybe a lot of your neurodivergence and being different now is definitely coming out in your personality, or you are who you are and your art and all that. But how do you find it contributes to your art?
I can't answer that. I don't know. If I knew that, I would.
That's the $1 million question.
I mean, I think my personality comes out. I would definitely say that. I would say although I don't have a black trench coat walking around in the sun, I think my Gothic years are definitely coming out. Definitely. I really excuse me again. Let's see.
Like this is the way I would. I don't know if this is how you, with my creative mind, I know, especially being ADHD, I just have so many thoughts going through my head. Like exactly, right? And I'm assuming this is probably yourself. You might be walking, like looking on your Instagram page now, you've got some interesting pictures there, especially like I'm seeing some broken, looks like someone smashed a window or something. Do you know the picture I'm talking about? A couple of days ago.
Okay. I might answer your question a little bit better now. I have a variety of different styles. I have the Baroque paintings. By the way, these aren't oil paintings; they're acrylic, which a lot of people are fascinated by. I go, look, these are my acrylic. No, they're not. They're oil paintings. No, they're acrylic. And the reason people who have attempted to work with acrylic hate acrylic. I love acrylic. The difference between oils and acrylic is acrylic dries really fast. And a lot of people hate that. I love that because, as we pointed out, long-term projects make me get really distracted. So doing paintings like this, and they're done with fast-drying paints, I go, yep, and I get to do things really fast. I get to really abuse the canvas and the paintbrushes. I destroy my paintbrushes. They just get really screwed up. I absolutely love doing that. So that's one way that my really distractive ADD,
I was about to say that sounds like a neurodivergent process.
Totally. And I reckon that's awesome. Like, I would never have thought, like, okay, I need to use a different type of paint or whatever it is because my brain just works so fast that I need to get it done fast. And I can tell you what, looking at these paintings now, if you're getting them done fast, man, that's pretty bloody amazing, if you ask me. Would you reckon, Kev?
Sometimes they need a bit of a poke to get them done, but they do get done. But a lot of my work is watercolor, so and that's done very fast. Like within like an hour, the illustrations are done. That's another. So in turn, because of that, there's a lot of different styles. When I'm online, when I'm doing streaming, and say someone gives a subscription on Twitch towards my channel, and I'm very grateful for that. I say, thank you very much. Would you like a stupid? And that's what my stupids are, just drawings that I do that I make sure they're purposefully shit. I make sure that I say, okay, what would you like? Oh, you want a hamster in a banana? Sure. They absolutely love that. So that's another process and style that is that comes out of that.
Cool.
So you live stream yourself painting? I do on Twitch. Yeah. Twitch / Alexander Devenport, or whatever the thing is, and that's how I put together a wide collection of that's where I did all of these. I did a daily thing where I would do that, and I accidentally created a book. So that was
pretty awesome. So, out of curiosity, right, what do you think neurodivergent people bring to the arts in general?
Everything.
Yeah, that's a pretty straight down the line type of question.
I was outside having a wine with a neighbor yesterday, and she said, I look forward to finding people who sparkle. I look forward to, if you don't sparkle, I'm not that interested with talking to you, but you need to find people who sparkle a little bit. I'm sure you understand, I'm not an expert, but so many problematic people create so many fantastic forms of artwork. Like Tracy Emin famous for being not so much famous for being neurodivergent, but she is tortured in her own way, and so that's how she creates her own particular works. There is I've forgotten the name of this gentleman. I feel really, really bad, but he produces. He's a Londoner. He produces so many line drawings completely from memory. I'm just going to look. Please excuse me. I'm just looking.
Yeah, you're right.
And he does things that are completely through memory. A line drawing of a particular city. He's Stephen Wiltshire is his name. There we are.
Oh wow, crazy!
And he's okay talking to folks. He's okay, but you can tell he's a little bit uncomfortable. But give him a pencil or a pen, particularly a pen, and he will replicate almost the entire city from his head. Just remember.
Wow.
Crazy.
So, I look up to people, like that. Those are a couple of examples. Those are famous examples. I'm thinking around of a couple of people that I've known in art school that most definitely have got. Here's the
Probably
thing.
Everyone in some form or another.
Yeah,
well, the arts are one of the few industries, where uniqueness can be rewarding.
Totally, it's almost like it's normal. If you're like out there type of person, that's normal in the arts.
But here's an important thing to know. We did have someone who was way more distracted than anyone else, and this is a sad thing. It's not going to finding a creative thing, going and sorting that. It's not the only thing you need to help you out. A lot of the time, if your diagnosis is particularly bad, it's not going to be enough, because we had one guy in our class who couldn't concentrate on anything, and this is I was attempting to learn animation, which was great, but it turns out just wasn't my thing. But I did all the classes, I did all the exercises, I did all the things that I could do. This one guy just refused to do anything. He just flat out didn't do anything at all. And from how he spoke, he was a bit of an edgy guy. He was saying, no, I'm not going to do that. So he was problematic, But as well as being problematic attitude-wise, you can tell he was problematic just not being able to concentrate. He just said, I'll do my thing over here. No. I appreciate what you're drawing over there, but we're over here like sculpting stuff. It was completely different.
Wow, crazy.
So
big contrarian.
I felt so. I mean, he was very annoying. I didn't really like the guy, but
that's rich coming from you, brother.
I know. Look, here's the thing. I've got to be honest. He was not a pleasant person. But I also felt sorry for him because he was clearly trying to do something with his life, but no, just couldn't do.
Yeah. Stuff. Was he good at what he did? But like, would you look at his stuff and go, "Whoa, this guy is actually really good"?
He was all right. Yeah, I'm not denying that at all. I mean, a lot of people said, "Hey, you know what? Yeah, this is cool." Except we're not in that.
But sculpturing at the moment. Yeah, totally. But out of curiosity, have you faced any challenges in the industry being a neurodivergent artist? Have you found?
In the industry, not really, but workplace, yeah, I have been distracted at work a lot of the time, and
Do you reckon that's a lack of understanding?
From me.
So not from you, from like the people you've been working with.
Uh,
Say for example, when I was at work and I was in an open office, and then people come in and start having a conversation. Of course, I'd be like, yeah. I'd join in and get distracted. It'd be hard for me to then focus back on what I was doing.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I would absolutely. I wouldn't get the first for this is interesting. The first couple of years working, I was not, it wasn't so good. But hey, I spent 10 years though working for one industry, so at least my boss respected me enough to say, all right, Alex, whatever, just make sure you do the work. And I say, yep, no problem, Dave. That's and I did. I managed to sit down and concentrate and get the stuff done in my own time, and he was happy about that. So we 10 years worth of, by the way, it was I was a graphic designer and video editor for a cage fighting show.
That seems like so opposite to something you'd be doing.
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't trade those years for anything. It was fun. I had some scary times, but it was fun. My boss got annoyed with me a lot, mostly because I spelt the names of the fighters wrong. He was not a good speller himself, but it was not his job to spell the fighters right. It was my job, and so when that screwed up, I got really embarrassed, and it was not good. But a lot of the time, what was asked upon me was just get stuff done on time.
Damn, my one weakness.
Look, restrictions are kind of good. If I know I have a deadline, I'll go, okay, you want that? Okay, yep. And then all of a sudden, boom, we have a job to do on time. We've got something to focus on. Yeah, it was good. I have no problem at all. I used to do a lot of video editing the day before the fight events, which the videos I would do would be, two fighters would introduce themselves to the camera. My name's so and so. I'm fighting out of so and so gym. I'm gonna kick this guy's ass. Blah blah blah. And that pre-fight video would play. That's what I did every.
Oh, so you were a video editor for a while, were you?
Oh yeah. I was a video editor for a while. I sorted that out. And because there was that sort of restriction, that got me on my toes, and I got to do stuff on time, which as I said, I wouldn't trade those years ever. That was so good. Of course, there would be scary times, like a chair would be thrown at my head. Missed me, by the way.
Oh, really? You had that happen?
Yeah. The chair just hit the chair leg just hit someone's head right on the boom, and I saw that. I went, I shouldn't be standing here.
Yeah, no, man, you were at a different fight.
Oh man, that was directing fighters to talk dirty into the camera. Loved it.
Yeah, nice. I suppose that could be pretty fun, actually. But out of curiosity, just moving on, because we are getting a bit short of time here.
Sorry
what
about
do you think? No, not at all. But this is a podcast. It's about talking. So no, don't stress. So what do you think could be done to help more neurodivergent artists navigate the art world? Now, I think a big thing that you said early on in the podcast was that you really wanted to get into university, and you had to do everything, to get to that point type of thing. Now, what do you think could be, or what more could be done to, help more artists to really achieve those goals?
I don't know. That was my journey, but it's clearly not going to be the same for everyone.
is there something that could be? Oh man, I haven't thought about this. What could be done in the industry?
Is there much awareness, do you think?
I think there's a lot of awareness because it's well, as you said, who in your place of learning was neurodivergent, and you said like probably everyone.
Yeah.
So it's out there. We're very much aware that there's a lot of people that do need just a little bit of assistance, maybe a nudge to go in the right direction.
But can I just say on that, right? I think especially in the arts, I think a lot of people who aren't neurodivergent really do need to learn maybe a little bit more about what neurodiversity is, because in the past, I've actually reached out to, say, dance companies and stuff like that about like, hey, have you... I've said stuff like, hey, I'm interested in interviewing some, neurodivergent dancers, for example. Do you have any who'd be interested in talking? And they're like, oh, no, we don't have any of them here. And it's like, what a load of shit. There's probably bucket loads of your dance people dancing in your studio right now.
I guess the only thing I can think of, right, I'm sure there's a lot of answers, but the only thing I can think of right now is asking employers, and many other folks, just patience more than anything. I realize that it's not the same for if it was the same for everyone, of course, there's it's going to be easier, but it's not the same for everyone. So just patience. We all learn in different ways, of course.
And I think safety, can I say as well, like safety is a big thing. And when I mean safety, I don't mean safety like, watch out for that chair, you're going to trip over it. Like you were saying before, your boss would get angry at you and because you stuffed up the spelling, but then you felt really embarrassed. And I know your boss was really good, but sometimes people don't feel safe in those environments if their boss is ripping them a new one in a certain way in front of people or stuff like that as well.
Ultimately, that again just goes down to patience and just taking a minute and say, okay, he doesn't quite understand. Let's chill out for a minute. I have another answer for you, Will, and that's we all learn differently, and we all need training to work in whatever job we're going to be working in. Doesn't matter what the job is. We all need to go through the ropes. Go through the ropes? No, we all need to learn the ropes. We all need to
I get it, mate. I get it.
And the best way to teach people, because I'm teaching someone right. I think I'm just about done with teaching. This guy has got it, but I'm in the studio right now. I have been training this one guy, and I hope my boss isn't listening. But my boss would teach everyone just by telling people what to do. This is how we get money from our clients. This is how we book things. This is where, and he would just tell people like it's school. And I say, thank you, appreciate it, but no, that's not how you teach people, especially people who are neurodivergent. So what I did when I was training this one person is I asked them to act this out. So I would say, do that. Yep, that's nice. That's good. That's cool. And now do this. Now do this. And I would ask them to act out the particular actions in order to do the skills to perform your job well. And the speed in which he learnt, I was very proud of. I thought, yes, I've met it. And he wasn't neurodivergent, or at least I don't think so. But I knew this is how I would want to be taught.
And that's the thing. I think that's goes on to your universal design. So if you do it one way, everyone can learn from it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
rather than say school. It's like you have to do it this way, but I don't really thrive with that way. I need it this way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that is the best way to do it.
Totally.
We're all different. We all learn different.
That's it.
I realize that's not a grammatically correct sentence, but oh well. Me grammar good. Me learn.
Yeah. Who cares, man, about grammar, man? I don't even get grammar, but no, that's all cool. But what we might do, just if we could just have a quick answer to this one, and then we're going to have to wrap it up. What advice would you give to neurodiverse? Sorry, what advice would you give neurodivergent artists about starting a career in the arts?
There's so many answers to that.
Just keep it short, if you could, baby.
If you are to be creative, and just another way to be creative is just to play with the idea, play with everything. That's one of those reasons why I absolutely love the comedian Ross Noble. He would take an idea and just run with it. That's just playing is just another way of forming creativity. That's what you do, just play. Also, a part of that is just being constructive. And the easiest way to just say, hey, be constructive is just keep on going. Try and I know it's difficult, but just keep on going, keep on doing your thing. And to put, if I was to have any suggestion as to put work anywhere else, put your work out there anywhere, just social media, but also try and get your work into fancy cafes where rich people can buy stuff. That is also a huge thing that a lot of people don't talk about. If you are an artist, if you produce paintings, don't put them in galleries, put them in cafes where people will come and sit and look and have money. That's a big tip right there.
Wow, that is huge. You know what I mean? I never really thought about it like that. But I think also too, especially coming from the arts myself in music and that, one of the biggest things I sort of found with especially the music scene, and Kev, you might have found this as well, don't listen to what everyone else has to say. You know what I mean? You create, I remember so much.
So your advice is basically ignore everyone.
So, well, the thing is, I could say, Alex's work is crap because blah, blah, blah. He doesn't know this. He doesn't know that, right? And it's like, but Alex's work is actually really good to maybe not to that person who's saying it's crap, but to other people, maybe they, you know what I mean? I remember so many musicians in the music scene were so critical about how people, but what I learned was that it's not the other musicians you're writing for, it's the other people who actually really enjoy your music, if that makes sense, who aren't musicians.
Yeah, I find when a lot of people say to me, oh, that band's crap, I'll be like, you misspelled, that band is personally not my taste. I think that's how it works. But I advice-wise, I'd also want to throw in for neurodivergent people in particular, lean into your strangeness. It's art. It'll bring out something unique, and that's what makes you stand out in art. I know personally, with regards to like my onstage antics and the way that I sing, it's all very driven by autism and ADHD, and it made for a more unique approach to it, I think.
No, sorry, Kev, is that your cat meowing?
That is adorable.
It's not my cat, but yeah, that's why I've been leaning a little off screen. She wants
Oh, that's funny, man. That's funny.
Also, just quickly, I want to say we've made it, Will. We're officially getting spam bots on our.
Yeah, man, bloody hell, spam bots, bloody spam bots.
We're successful.
I think we can lean into that. I'll say if you get weird people either online or otherwise who are just giving weird, not advice, just abuse. Know when to ignore and know when to take genuine criticism, and recognizing what the criticism is important.
Yeah, true. That's such a good point. That's such a good point.
But also thicken your skin so you can take both of those. You know?
True, very
I
true.
know it's difficult. God, I know it's difficult to build up a thick skin.
Totally. So if people want to connect with you, where's the best place to find all your stuff, Alexander?
Probably right now the best place is alexanderdevenport.com. It's got all of my links to everywhere.
Yeah, cool.
I have stuff on Twitch. I have stuff on YouTube. I have stuff on Instagram, as you've been pointing out. There are other social media websites. I think it's funny. Like each time everyone points out, "Oh yeah, here are my things on and then on Twitter." And when you get to Twitter, there's such a big desire to go off on a stand-up comedian rant about what's the deal with X. You know.
Yeah.
No, don't get distracted. I am on X. I am on.
You know what sounds so funny, right? When people say I am on X, it sounds like you're on a drug or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm
on X, man.
I'm either on drug or something that's been highly classified, or I don't know, something stupid and naughty. Like,
well, wouldn't that scandal from a while back, the Twitter files, now be called the X Files?
Yes.
True. Good point. Anyway, we should really tie this up because we're getting past everything. Alexander, man, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast today.
No problem, Will. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, likewise, man. It's been good to connect after all these years, following each other on Facebook, all of that, just having a good chat.
Talking to each other like adults,
Yeah, properly. See, people do grow up, you know what I mean?
Turns out people do actually grow up.
Yeah, exactly.
At the very least, we grow old.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Don't remind me of that because I feel like that all the time, man. But
just a quick thank you to Mohammed and Carlos and Christy and I guess Valve's BT Dub.
A few
thanks
people
guys for
commented through. Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for everyone who's been giving us a lot of comments through the comments section today.
Thanks,
Alexander,
everyone.
thank you so much. For anyone else listening, please feel free to check out all of our social media platforms or go and check out some of our past podcasts at the OpenHearted Society.com. My name's Will Wheeler, joined with my co-host Photon John. Until next time, thank you.